Fairy Tale. It was a nice long journey, but as all journeys, it must come to an end. It was one of my favorite anime and one of the first that I was introduced to when I first started watching anime. I loved it because it was entirely different from the average shonen trope. Had some of my favorite battles, conveyed the emotions of the characters cleverly, and overall story, theme, and main character slash characters were great. Before I delve deeper into my appreciation of this anime, let me start by saying that Fairy Tail averts from the shonen average main character. Like Deku, Naruto, Asa, or Ichigo, or even Luffy from One Piece, because it isn't just one person. It isn't about Natsu, even though he has considerable screen time and usually beats up the main baddie, or Lucy, the newest member working her way up, or even Gray Filibuster, the nudist maniac that he is. It's about Fairy Tail. It's about the guild as a whole, protecting their family and the bonds this guild creates and grows over time. Now, the reason why Fairy Tail as a whole is the main character is because of the dynamics of the guild. Almost every person and animal has a very particular personality that is always true to them. And for a large portion of the show, the manga, it does not change. There is no real growth for the majority of the characters, and that's because these characters were not meant to grow individually. Natsu, throughout his entire run, is an immature, caring, ignorant character, but it's great. It does not ever change. Even with faced with multiple life-threatening events or even different complex ideologies that even question his own, Natsu stays the same. Now, of course, Natsu does become stronger, but so does everyone else are basically around the same time he does. And not only that, but in fights when Natsu wins due to a power-up, 9 times out of 10 he quickly loses said power-up. And most of his power-ups is because another member of the guild gave him a boost. In other words, the little thing that most people hate about Fairy Tail, the friendship power. A good way to understand that the Fairy Tail Guild as a whole is the main character is during probably one of my favorite arcs, the Grand Magic Games arcs. This arc is not a dangerous arc or even a life-threatening arc. Instead, it's more of a light-hearted arc due to that it reintroduces our new powered-up guild members. Because all of the Fairy Tail top majors were gone for many years, well, like 7, and because of this, Fairy Tail lost its reputation as one of the strongest guilds. And because of this, after all of Fairy Tail's heavy hitters come back, they came back with a mission. This mission was only brought up because the current Fairy Tail was being looked down upon and called weak, and even discriminated against. So to get back at the other guilds, they joined the Grand Magic Games with 2 teams, and it's going to surpass all other guilds with these 2 teams. The Grand Magic Games is one of the few arcs where the overall main character Fairy Tail is greatly shown, because it isn't about Natsu or Lucy or Gray winning every challenge. It is about every single Fairy Tail member working together, contributing, and trying their hardest to win every challenge. And I do mean every single Fairy Tail character. Loxus, the recently changed rogue mage that just became a member again, has to fight a cheating guild by himself. Not only is this enemy cheating guild making this 1v1 tournament style fight into Loxus versus that entire enemy guild, he has to also fight his father, the leader of the opposing guild that also knows everything Loxus can do. Another challenge is with Urza. She is in a challenge where they get one person from every guild and they have a choice of picking between 1 and 100 monsters to fight. Most people are going to pick 10, 20, 15, that sort of thing. But you know what Urza does? Just to make sure everybody understands that Fairy Tail is back, she doesn't choose 15, 10, 20. She doesn't even choose 51, which would give her the overall W. She chooses to fight all 100 monsters and forces the game masters to make an entirely other challenge for the remaining guilds. Kana, the drunk of the guild, intentionally goes last and uses the strongest ability Fairy Tail has to offer, Fairy Law. where the user converts their life force into mana just so she can break the mana power counter, exhausting herself and winning the segment of the Grand Magic Games. And she is just the drunk. In the Grand Magic games, every member of the guild plays a part, from Kana to even the deceased first guild master. And because of this, we see who the true main character is. There is not one over dominating character. And if anything, Loxus is the most dominating character of this arc, and we all fully know well that he is far from the main character because he was a villain in the previous arc. One thing that hooked me with Fairy Tail was the emotion that was conveyed through each fight. And I'm not talking about the weight of the punches, even though there is much weight there in the fights. I'm talking about the weight of the overall theme of each fight and why each fight matters. Fairy Tail is a guild, which means they do earn money from doing jobs, and those jobs may lead to random fights because of this and that. But the major fights, such as against Phantom Lord, Hades, the Twin Dragons, or even individuals that threaten the guild, Loxus, there's a theme and there's emotion that's conveyed through each of these fights. I would give two fights as an example between two guild members and one between Fairy Tail and an enemy. And then I would give an example of a background but important character acting in said background. In a fight against Hades, a previous guild master, Urza, Natsu, Wendy, Gray, and Lucy are all losing in the fight. There seems to be no win in sight. However, Loxus, a rogue mage at this point, no longer a member of Fairy Tail, shows up and saves them. And even though Loxus is no longer in name a member of Fairy Tail, at heart, he is still a member. And that is only half the reason this scene is as strong as it is. Loxus could easily beat Hades. Loxus even takes a hit and shrugs it off, telling Hades he is nowhere near strong enough to beat him. However, Loxus transferred his energy to Natsu because, as he said, he is no longer a member of Fairy Tail, and it's only right that a current Fairy Tail member destroys this previous Fairy Tail guild master with the same pain he has inflicted on his friends, but 100-fold. I do not give the scene justice, but to see Loxus humble himself for a guild he no longer has ties to because he wants to do the right thing for his rash behavior, and it is indeed character growth. And not only that, but it is an emotional fight between the past and the present Fairy Tail, with the present growing stronger than the past, and the present Fairy Tail members working together to surpass that said past. Because this fight main themes how the present Fairy Tail is changing, and Hades does not like it, and Natsu even questions Hades, what is so bad about change? Needless to say, we all know change can be good, and as Hades loses the fight, he is proud because the guild he left and underestimated has indeed changed for the better. The next fight I want to talk about is between Gray and Natsu. Note, this fight has a lot of emotion because, well, they're two of the people we see, and the two sides they represent, but also because we have watched these two grow, and this fight has been a long time coming. Two best friends, blinded by who they are and their own demons, quite literally. Gray, who has mastered Devil Slayer magic that his own father couldn't, starts to let the same magic control his body, while Natsu, a literal demon made from Zeref, the enemy of Gray's family, is going to kill Zeref and in turn kill himself. Gray, blinded by his Demon Slayer magic and his hatred for the END demons, wants to kill Natsu. And Natsu, blinded by his hatred for Zeref, his biological mission to kill Zeref, wants to get past Gray. Both blinded, both in their strongest forms. Both opposing forces of ice and fire try to kill each other. And though this battle is short, and is stopped before any real damage is truly done, it is the ending that evokes the most emotion. You see, in the second episode of Fairy Tail, maybe the third, Natsu and Gray have a little scuffle. it's a fight between them because each other are, because they're, well, rivals, and they are roughly around the same age, and they do fight occasionally. However, these two mages are taken down swiftly by Urza, the stronger S-class mage that Natsu and Gray are striving to become because they want that same reputation as being known as an S-class mage. And in this fight, at the end of the series, these two powerhouses that are dozens, maybe hundreds times stronger than Urza at this point, is still stopped by Urza. However, it is not swift. It is not clean. Urza, without any mana, uses her body to knock the two back into place. One side of Urza begins to freeze from Gray's Demon Slayer ice magic, and the other side begins to burn from Natsu's Dragon Slayer fire magic. Only then do these two realize what they are doing. Seeing a friend, a sister figure, step between them, do they finally become shielded from their rage? This scene shows us that that family truly means the most in the guild, as even though they both could have easily went through Urza in that split second, they quickly powered down their magic to not kill Urza. And though this scene, through this scene, we see how far these two have truly come. Even though they never became S-class mages in name, we can finally say they're the same level as S-class mages. Now, my final piece of conflict that shows the emotion on the same level as the previous ones is with Michigan. Now, if you know anything about FairyTail, Michigan is this very mysterious FairyTail guild member. He knocks out other FairyTail guild members when he enters the guild hall for a mission, and nobody knows who he is because he always wears a mask, unless you want spoilers. But the thing is, during one of the arcs, the Phantom Lord arc, the Phantom Lord attacks FairyTail. And through this, we find out that Phantom Lord has many other strongholds, these mechanized strongholds. And even though FairyTail does take the main force, there's still about 99 other strongholds out there. And one of the people asked Michigan, "Where were you at? Where were you when we needed you?" It is at this scene, Michigan sitting on a tree releases what has been in his hand. All other flags of the other strongholds float in the air. Michigan single-handedly defeated all other strongholds so that they were not attacked by more than one. This scene is strong because before this point in the story, we did not truly understand Michigan's allegiance. Was he just a member for money, or was it just a game to him? However, it is clear after this scene that he truly does love FairyTail, and he too will protect the guild just like the others. FairyTail is a great anime. You do not need a main character that you focus on to get stronger. You don't need a character to continue to get infinitely stronger over and over. It can be about characters winning through bursts of adrenaline because they want to keep their friends and family safe. It is the friendship buff, weird and questionable. Yes, it is. However, once you realize the true goal of this series and of the guild members and what it means to be a FairyTail member, the power of friendship becomes that much more rewarding. And no, it is not like other animes don't have similar boosts. Dragon Ball has a rage boost, Naruto has a nine tail boost, My Hero Academia has a boost of will, but FairyTail has a friendship boost. It is so much more because it is not one or few characters getting this boost. Almost every character in FairyTail, even in other guilds, get this boost in power because it is true. People will try harder and work harder if someone or something they love is threatened. FairyTail the anime is about a guild that every member wants to protect because this is their home. Every character has a quirky personality or flaws that bring more to the table than just a bunch of bland characters in the background. And every scuffle, every fight, every conflict that threatens the guild or its member, this family works together to protect them, and I do mean every member. These are the reasons why I love FairyTail, and this is goodbye.